Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to another video. It's no secret that I've always been a Japanese car guy, but I've always been really curious about muscle cars. So this is Justin here. This is his 03 Ford Mustang Terminator Cobra. So tell me about this car.
Alright, so this is the 2004 Cobra. It came from the factory with Eaton's supercharger on it, making about 400 horsepower. And the modifications that I've done to it are just like the exhaust, coilovers, and bigger tires in the back.
So a little bit of history about this car. It is dubbed the Terminator Cobra, and it's not exactly clear why. I mean, there's a lot of theories out there, like, you know, maybe it's Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Maybe it's due to the fact that this car is meant to terminate all its competition when it came out. Who really knows?
Actually, the joke is this car debuted in 2002, and the Camaro went away in 2002. Technically, it terminated.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I wonder if that was just a coincidence.
Yeah, it's just a coincidence, just like the joke.
Okay. That's pretty funny, though.
And actually, this is the same chassis that the Fox Body used.
Oh, really?
So from 79 to 04, it was all the Fox Body chassis.
Wow. So 25 years, the same chassis.
Yep.
That's an interesting fact I did not know. I guess the general consensus with, I mean, even Fox bodies, and then obviously since this is the same chassis all the way up to this point, these Mustangs kind of handled like shit. That's the general consensus, but this one's special because not only one, it has the supercharger, which means it pushes over 400 horsepower at the crank, but two, it has an independent rear suspension, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was the first Mustang to have an IRS. And supposedly it should help tame the rear end a little bit. Let's see what happens in the corners. I know this is not this car's natural habitat whatsoever, but let's see if it can actually hold its own.
It's still a Mustang at the end of the day.
Still a Mustang? Let's find out. Fun. Okay, so I did feel in some of those second gear corners, because there's just so much power and torque in second gear, it does make the rear end feel a little bit less stable. I think probably the quickest way to drive this car through a road like that with the twisties is to just leave it in third and just use the torque.
Yeah.
There's plenty of torque throughout the rev range. On the downhill, this car is not the most confidence-inspiring thing. I'm definitely braking very early. The steering really does not have much feedback. It's very, very light. The other problem with driving this car is I'm 5'7", so I'm not a very big guy, but I feel like I'm sitting about a foot too high with the seat. I mean, I already lowered it as much as I could, but I still feel like I'm sitting on top of the car. And my arms aren't that long, and this shifter feels like it's about a mile away. So when I actually shift into third gear, I have to kind of like almost lean my body forward to make sure it actually goes in to the gear. Do you have this problem? I mean, what, you're probably like 6 foot?
Yeah, I'm like 6'3", and I still have the same problem with third.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, like, what kind of person was actually test driving this car when they designed the interior? Maybe like a 6'5" or taller person was doing it because of how far the shifter is, but then you consider the fact that even at 5'7", I feel like I'm sitting like, like really close to the ceiling. So there's no way a tall person could have fit in here. So it's probably a 5'3" guy with like 5 foot long arms. So this is the 4.6 liter modular. It's called the modular V8. Dual overhead cam.
Yeah, all forged internals.
Okay.
4 valves.
4 valves, so it's a 32 valve engine. For an American V8 that's 15 years old, it's fairly high tech for its time, I would say. And as you'll find out here, it makes plenty of power. You're right, it does hook up coming out of corners.
I'm still scared shitless over here though. Way different experience in the passenger seat.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, this car actually has a lot of grip, not only at the rear end, but also at the front end with those 275s. You said they're Mickey Thompsons, right?
Yep, Mickey Thompson street competitions.
Nice. that was floored coming out of that corner. I mean, granted, it wasn't a very tight corner, but some cars would understeer there for sure. But this car just plowed right through it. That's floored. This car is not bad at all in the twisties. I mean, I always knew it was going to be fast in a straight line with a supercharged V8, but even in the corners, it does hold its own. T56 transmission is absolutely fantastic. It's so notchy, it's so direct, there's no slop in it whatsoever. I just wish the damn shifter was like 4 inches closer to me. Also, the supercharger whine is not as pronounced as I thought.
No, but you can hear it how like past 4,500 RPMs.
Okay.
But if you put his like all stock motor and everything, so I have like that gigantic pulley on there.
Okay.
But if you go to like a 2.7 pulley, you'll be able to hear that thing whine.
What's the stock pulley? Like a 3 something?
Yeah, I think it's like 3 something. But even if you go with like a Whipple or a Kenny Bell, it still whines pretty damn good. But the stock blower with the pulley, best whine.
Best whine? Best whine. You know, I did hear a lot about people just swapping out the pulley and that's it, and getting pretty big gains.
Gets up to about 460, I would want to say.
At the wheels?
Yep.
Damn, that's a lot of power. So why did you buy this Terminator Cobra? I mean, considering how expensive they are right now, probably in the 20 to 30s range, you could probably, you know, I mean, yes, you could definitely pick up just a newer Mustang GT with a 5.0, but why did you go with this?
Well, I went with this because, first off, like, everyone has a 5.0. And
fair point.
I'd rather have something more rare and something that stands out. And plus, I just always love this body style.
Yeah.
That's why my previous car was a 2000 V6 Mustang. It looked really nice.
Same body style as this, right?
It was like the Stormtrooper kind of look, white on black.
Okay.
It was a piece of shit. But it looked really nice. And I just love the body style of it. And also the power, of course.
Yeah.
Because these things make about like as much as the new 5.0s.
Right.
I can actually, like, from a dig, I can actually keep up and sometimes beat the 2014.
Really?
Yep.
The ones that make like 420 horsepower or whatever. Yeah, I believe it. And not only that, yes, you are spending a lot of money up front for one of these, considering how old they are. But at the same time, you're gonna maintain that value really well, because these cars are so rare.
It's gonna go up in value without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, you buy a 5.0, that's a depreciating asset. I mean, this thing will at least hold its value, if not go up. But you got this, obviously, this very special Mystichrome paint, which I can't even tell, like, what colors is even.
It changes between blue, purple, and green, and sometimes black.
Is that just depending on the lighting, or?
Yep, completely depending on the lighting.
That is really cool.
And I've had this car for about a year, and it's still a pain in the ass to take pictures of it.
Oh, yeah?
Because sometimes, like, oh, you know what, I want to get a purple picture.
Yeah.
Like, I have to walk around the car, and sometimes you can't get fully purple depending on where the sun is.
Yeah.
It's fun, though.
Well, hopefully we can capture some of the color changing on camera. What coilovers are these?
They're Maximum Motorsport.
Okay, they're actually not bad. Hey, those are the guys who like make track-focused 5.0s, aren't they?
Yep, they're Mustang specific. So
right. Okay.
everything they do is all Mustang, and they're pretty damn good.
Yeah, these are nice coilovers. Like, I mean, I've never driven a stock suspension in one of these, but it feels like it could be stock. So, what are your future plans with this car?
Well, when I first got it, I said, okay, I'm going to keep it stock and everything.
Oh, that never happens. That never works.
I just went on a cruise with a couple other Terminators the other day, and now I want a Whipple.
Now you want everything. Okay. Okay.
But I want to do like suspension first, so like get control arms, subframe connectors, and that IRS bushings.
That's a good call. Reinforce the parts of the car that are likely to break once you're pushing 800 horsepower.
And also new half shafts. I need those because those are not very good stock.
All right, we have to do a pull here once it straightens out a little bit. I won't launch it, but I just want to feel what first gear feels like. There you go. up and just went. I mean, that was great. I think it's because he has 315 section.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
Mickey Thompson's.
they're pretty warmed up right now too.
Yeah, I kicked in, or I hit the rev limiter because on here it shows it's like maybe like 6,600, but I think it actually kicks in a little bit earlier.
Oh really?
Yeah, like maybe like 64 or something, or I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It just seemed like it. I just got done filming the JDM Legends video, which will be out in a couple months probably. And you know, one of those cars that I drove was a 715 wheel horsepower Supra, and yes, it was insanely fast once I got up into the higher RPMs, once the turbos kicked in. But this thing feels much faster down low. I mean, there's just no delay. At any RPM, you put your foot down and it just rockets forward. And that's what I really like about this engine. And overall, I mean, this car is a lot better handling than I expected. Really, really enjoyable, even in the corners, but I just hate the seating position so much.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
not
like
that
the
great.
worst of all time. I don't know what Ford was thinking there. Like, I swear to God, it was a 5 foot tall, like, little guy with like 10 foot long arms. I don't know how else like a normal human being would be able to fit in this car and be comfortable. I mean, not comfortable, but be able to use the controls comfortably. Because the seat actually is really comfortable. The side bolsters, I feel like I'm almost in a bucket seat.
Yeah, the bolstering is pretty nice on them, but the seating position is just way too high.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, besides that, the car is just a real pleasure to drive, and I'm really, I'm even more excited now to drive more American cars. I want to try a Boss 302 now, the new GT 5.0, of course the Shelby GT350, and you know, Camaros, Corvettes, you name it. So if you guys have any cool cars, let me know. I'd love to check them out. And as always, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.